Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you get to see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week I painted up the Forbidden Power box set, the newest expansion for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, that allows you to play a campaign in a sort of a province, a subset, part of the Realm of Death, Shish, outside of this city called Lethis, where there's all kinds of cool spooky things happening, and a grand storm vault has been cracked open. Endless spells have escaped that you can now paint up and play with, and of course there's a penumbral like orrery thing too that was keeping everything quiet and hidden from Nagash, that's now broken and is a terrain piece that you can use all the time. I also painted up some stuff for Adeptus Titanicus as well as for A Song of Ice and Fire, and I've got some Batman Gotham City Chronicles stuff on the paint table as well as some stuff for Monster Apocalypse. So let's take a look at what I got done and what is coming up. So first up we have Forbidden Power, all of the endless spells. There's 4 of them. There's the Soul Scream Bridge over here, which is in 2 parts basically. You're gonna summon it, place one within 6, and another one I think wholly within 12, and then you can teleport units between them. There's the Horrorghast. It's a spooky ghost of, I guess, Nagash's head. Screams at people, makes them less brave. You got Lokon the Soul Seeker. It's basically a ferryman. At the start of its move, like before the movement phase, when you move endless spells before they even start, you can remove a unit wholly within 3 of him, and then move him, and then place the unit wholly within 3 of them, but someone has to pay the price, so someone dies. So you can't do it to characters, but he's pretty cool because he allows you to like move basically outside the turn. So if you controlled him, you could have a unit that was like near to getting charged or something like that fall back, or even just move a unit up if you got the first turn. Well, actually, you'd never get to move it if you were going first. So you could use it going second, basically, to pull people out of combat. And then we've got the Shards of, I can't remember their name now, Shards of Valgar, that pin people in place. They basically like shoot lightning between them, and your movement rate is halved, and you're -1 to hit if you're in a line between the 2 spells. So you can use it to like trap a unit and make them like worse at fighting. And then the Penumbral Engine, which was forged, basically it was one of the engines of Hish that Teclis had given to the human artisans, Sigmar's followers. And he had the Fire Slayers, or whatever the Smiths are, basically, the Dwarven Smiths, reforge it to be this like obfuscation engine that would hide the Storm Vaults. And the Necroquakes basically broken them all, and that's why in Forbidden Power all of these endless spells are getting out of the vaults, because that's where Sigmar locked them up before the Great War of Chaos, because they were just weapons that were too terrible. And then yeah, the Necroquake like breaks them, so now you can find these either the sacristies or the Grand Vaults that have all kinds of bad stuff in it. You can check out my review for like more of the story and stuff, but the model's really nice. I painted them a lot with like glazes and stuff, so like they were primed like a white, and then I glazed them with some green Stuff World washes, and then just did the details. They're super nice. Picked out all the highlights and stuff afterwards, but they're really nice. They're usable by any army too. These aren't death spells. Like literally any army can take the Penumbral Engine, and any army can take these spells if you're fighting in. I think it's just in general. Like they're just new death magic spells basically, because this is happening during the Necroquake. And so like any of your wizards can cast them and do the spooky death stuff. But yeah, you can check my review for more information. Had a lot of fun painting them. This was done a lot with the new Rust-Oleum metallic spray paints. I just did it in sections, then assembled it and gave it some washes and put it together afterwards. And then yeah, the rest of the stuff was just primed white and then washed, and the various details picked up and stuff too. So then I finished up my new Warlord Titan. Big thanks to Anthony Lee. He ordered extras of these. I tried twice unsuccessfully to get to pre-order these. The new Mori Quake Cannon and Mega Gatling Blaster, and couldn't. And he had extra ones, and he sent them up to me. So huge thanks to him. I painted up my new Warlord Titan, which is the Punisher, because Terribilis Vindicta is one of the names of the like canon Warlord Titans for Legio Storm, and that translates as awesome punishment, so I'm just gonna call him the Punisher. Because I mean, if you have the opportunity to call Warlord Titan the Punisher and it's like canon, I don't see how you can say no to that. So Princeps Frank Castle is gonna be walking around with his giant guns killing people, and once again it's all magnetized, so these go into my collections of arms that the various, so Top God can have these too, obviously. And I haven't actually painted, I just painted the body. And the 2 new Forge World guns today. I didn't bother painting new Top Guns because I already have a set of laser blasters and the whatchamacallit, Apocalypse missile launchers, but I'll probably paint a second Apocalypse missile launcher, right, just because they're cheap and they're super handy because they can fire line of sight and stuff too. And I couldn't remember if I showed these off last week, but I built some warp missiles for my Reaver Titans because one, I saw the preview and it was kind of like, it's kind of dinky. I didn't like the preview one so much, and two, it was super easy to do. There's a tutorial in the little new how-to section on how I did them, but I built two just because I wanted to try them out and have them. And then I painted up the last of the Hand of the King stuff for the Starks that Andrew Russ sent along, which, again, big thank you to him for having an extra Hand of the King pledge. I painted up Mage Mormont, the Lady of Bear Island. This didn't turn out, it's supposed to be like a turquoisey green, like a dark green, and it looks super blue now that I look at it on camera, so I think I'm going to change that again, because their colors are green. And then I painted Uncle Brendan. Oh, Uncle Brendan. This is Uncle Brendan horse version. Neither of these models are out yet. They're not actually released in Starks 2 either. They're in Starks 3, I think. Or maybe. We don't really know when. Actually, he might be in Tully Cavaliers. We never know. Because he is a Tully. So he might come in that box set. Because I don't think we've actually seen the contents of Tully Cavaliers yet. But I don't know. I'm excited to try them. He's a whole new commander style and as an attachment for my Outriders that might make them cool. And then she's awesome in Berserkers, holy moly. She gives them +2 morale, and then if they pass a morale check, she does D3 wounds. And she gets mad and starts lashing out. She's basically Jor Mormont, the commander of the Night's Watch's sister, who's like the last of their line. She inherits the title of the Lord of Bear Island from, I think, Jorah, when he goes on the run, basically, for selling slaves. So I'm stoked to try them out. I'm going to try and get some games filmed with them soon. And here's some coming up stuff. I got a new box of Titan, or of Knights, although it doesn't quite fix my problem of I needed to buy 3 boxes of Knights, because my second box of Knights I did with like non-standard patterns, so I made one into a Crusade. What's it, Crusader? Paladin? No, Paladin's the, it's the one... Gallant. I made a Gallant. I wanted to have a Gallant. I wanted to have a double sword one, and I wanted to have a Crusader because I wanted to match all my Titans in 40k, and then realized that made it so that I couldn't do like the right. I had to buy 2 boxes of Knights instead of 3, basically, because I already have 2 boxes of Knights. I had to buy 2 more boxes of Knights to make legal formations. So nicely, I think the leader of my household, the Lord Scion Marshal or whatever his name is, he can have a mixed unit, and then I have to have 2 other non-mixed units. So I need to build 1 more errant, basically, and then 2 more of whatever I want, and then I'll have a full unit of 3 of the same thing with errants, and I think I can use my my Lancers as was it yeah, the ones, the bigly Knights, the Acastus Knights. No, not the Acastus Knights. Whichever one the tall Knights are. Cerastus Knights. I can use them as the other, like, unlock to take a Knight detachment. And the consensus seems to be that you can take Titan support, so I could actually film a game then and try out the Knight household rules from Doom Warlock, because I really want to give them a go. And then I primed up some, actually, there's 33 models in the first mission for Batman Gotham City Chronicles. So I got them primed. I'm working on Batman, actually, at home with some thugs. But here's Bane, and here's Juiced Bane after he takes his Venom shot, and then Catwoman, Nightwing, computers. It's nice because it kind of breaks down into 4 thugs and a personality and like a computer or a bomb. So I can just put them in chunks and then paint through them and then actually have enough ready to play the first mission. So I'm kind of stoked about that. The models are great. Super fun to work with. I cleaned them all off and got them primed. And then we got Kraken Octus for the Protectors. First of the Tritons and the Statue of Liberty to paint up for my Protectors for some more Monster Apocalypse. There's lots more in the way. I think there's 2 more in the queue right now filmed. And that's going to let me do some sweet crakening, I guess, with the Tritons. I'm pretty jazzed about it. Kraken Octus is a super cool piece. And then the Statue of Liberty is super cool as well. So I'm going to get those painted up really soon. So you got on the paint table, done on the books. That's another 1, 2, 3, and 7, 10 models. Not as many as last week, obviously, but they were big this time. So I had some bigger things to paint, and that meant not quite the output of my previous week, but I really enjoyed painting them. Of course, you can watch my review of Forbidden Power by clicking up here in the cards. You can check that out and see a little bit more about the book, the rules, the campaign structure, and all that stuff, the 6-mission campaign. And then also, of course, you can watch some battle reports today, also linked up here, where me and Chris from Lords of War Games and Hobbies and Owen play some games in the new campaign structure with some of the new allegiances and stuff. So hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next week for more On the Paint Table. Until next time, I'm Ash. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.